there. Hope you've been keeping well. I have, and I thank God. Well, for me, I just want to first tell you guys thank you for watching my channel and for even subscribing. For real, I've been overwhelmed by your love, and a gift from me to you is a big hug. Well, now, having said that, now I just want us to dive into what we had last discussed, and this was on the basics of marriage, and which I thought would be jumping into the topic of marriage before we even understand the essence of marriage in the first place. And because of that, I had several people in mind, and these are people that have given up on marriage, and they are wondering, I mean, my life is continuing pretty well without even, I mean, getting married. I think I'm even enjoying life more than even when I was married before. Others are wondering, I'm just going to stay in here for the sake of just staying in here, but it's not like because I'm enjoying life or even enjoying marriage itself. And again, there are people that they truly want to get married, but they have had voices and they have had people say that marriage is not really the real deal, so they are thinking, maybe I can just have my side chick or my side guy, and friendship with benefits. You know what I'm talking about. And there are people who have not really who have been thinking about it, and then they are wondering, is this the right time really to settle? So that is why when I have all these people in mind, so I thought maybe it will be very important for us to first discuss the importance of marriage. Well, next week we will start with basics, but at least for this week it will be only necessary for us to do the importance of marriage. So why do people get married? Well, the first thing is companionship. Companionship is just what makes human life spice up. It's a spice to human life. And when you have company, you always feel that you can move ahead, a step ahead. You always feel that you can always you can run faster than you can, because at least you have company. And at least the scripture confirms this for us, and it tells us that two are better than one. There's so much that you can do when you are two than when you are one. Well, having spoken of companionship, it will only be very, very important to talk about friendship. Well, friendship is another thing that blends in and fits in with companionship. You have someone you can share your worries about. You have someone that can confirm and affirm your concerns and your dreams and your visions and all that. That is why people get married. Isn't it a beautiful thing? So when you can have that kind of company and a friend to walk the journey of life with you, because no man, you cannot live alone. Either way, whether you are married or you're not married, at some point you will need that person to walk the journey with you. So at least for companionship, then I think it is a very influential thing to just make us get glued and stick into marriage. Another thing as to why we get married is at least to have some sense of security. At least when you have your company, when you have your friends, when you have your when you have your husband, when you have your wife, then there's a sense of security. And just to have what we normally hear on the from our friends and our relatives. In many cases, you hear people talk about, especially when a husband has passed on, basically, you will hear people say that, unajua kabla mzee akufe nilikuwa nimepatia ule mtu mwingine heshima sana. Yule mzee nilikuwa nimempatia heshima, lakini tangu mzee akufe nimeshangazwa. Unajua ile siku alikuwa uhai hatukuwa singedhania wangesema, singedhania. So it gives you a sense of security, and also a sense of security and a sense of belonging into the society. Well, I believe when you have a sense of security, you're able to move on, and there are things that don't really make you wonder, and they don't really matter because, well, they seem normal up until when you take different paths. Then you start realizing, oh, I feel almost naked to what I am used to feeling, or to what I took for granted. Perfectly put. Well, I will also want to say that another importance of marriage is for fruitfulness. You know, how nice. When the moment God put Adam and Eve together, he told them, you can go ahead and multiply, you know. You see, you cannot multiply when you're one. I mean, you can perhaps multiply in the physical, you can see, but emotionally, you cannot multiply when you're one. And that is why God said, I have seen that you living alone, you know, it is not really working out well. So perhaps I can create a helper for you, at least so that you can walk this journey of life together. You see, God knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that life will bring about its waves, and it will throw you to the show, and you cannot really live there alone. I mean, that was the true essence of marriage. And that is where God said, you know something, I have given Adam everything that he desires in life. I have given him, even without asking for it. I have placed everything for him. But then he needs a helper. And that is why, because of having that helper, then it gets you into that land of fruitfulness. Because again, back to what I had first mentioned, is that two are better than one. So at least when you have a shilling, you multiply it into 2 shillings. Well, I know people will start saying, oh, you know, I was in marriage, and then when I got, well, I will typically contribute 80% or even 100%. The guy was not contributing. Well, this is not for only people that were contributing. It is a channel, and it is a forum for even those that were not contributing, to tell people that you were not there to give a 20% contribution. You were there to give a 50% contribution, or 100% contribution. And that is why God said, I have taken you out, go forth and multiply, you know, go and be fruitful. And so because of that, we have to hang on marriage, knowing that even if it's not really working now, you know, God knows, God knew, you know, that at some point it may not really be easy, but he knew that multiplication will eventually, when you trust him in him, and when you keep all your hopes on him, eventually multiplication will find its way, you know, will find its way home. And something I think, I'm not sure whether I have brought it out so well, is the sense of is the sense of fitting in into the society. And we may say that, you know, it's working, you know, I mean, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman in my life, but you see, the moment God placed us on this planet Earth, he worked on time. Okay, and time is very, very important. There's no one time you'll say that I'll get married at my 60s, you know, I mean, you'll have run out of time. And because of that, you want to get married at the right time, for this reason, because you want to start having a family at the right time. And the moment you separate your separate ways, every time you always feel as if you need to justify to the society as to why you're not married. You need to feel, sometimes you feel you need to justify to the society, even when it's not asking, but you always feel some sort of inadequacy. And because of that, you think you have pushed it somewhere, you think you've moved on, but every day and every time the society is always reminding you that, hey, you know, you're not married, you know, hey, you left your husband, hey, you left your. And as a result, sadly, into the society that you're living in, and not just in our African society, but even in other societies, because every society, I think, on planet Earth holds society with such high marriage with such high regard. And that is why when people say that, oh yeah, we can't, I will choose to walk my separate ways, you always feel that you are not really fitting in into the society. You always feel that you are not really blending in, and you always have something, you always have an explanation to the society as to why you are not married, or you are not in marriage. And well, I believe it's something that we can work out. I believe it's something that you can be able to work on it. And this is what I will tell um my friends, and like my viewers. This is what I will say. um God is the author of marriage, And the moment God is the author of marriage, He knows so well that we need marriage. He knows so well that we need companionship. He knows so well that we need fruitfulness. And because of that, He is willing to walk the journey with whoever is intending to walk the journey. It gets tough. It does get very tough sometimes. You actually feel like you just want to give up, and even sometimes you give up. But who is the author? You know, when you have a question, who do you go to? You have a question on maybe I have a book written by Rebuilding Homes by Nyagode Kariuki. Okay? Rebuilding Homes by Nyagode Kariuki. Now, this book, if you have a question on it, who will you come and ask? Will you go to Lisa Kariuki? Will you go to my mother? Will you go to my priest or my bishop? No, you will come to Nyagode Kariuki. Now, if you have a question on marriage, if you have an outcry on marriage, then who do you go to? You go to the author. Do you think the author will give you an answer on it? He is not a man that he should lie. I mean, God is so faithful. He is a faithful judge. And because of this, He will always, and at any time, He will always come through to your needs. So, up until next week again, as I keep saying, I just want to tell you something, that marriage is a pot that has not yet been opened. Up until you get into it, then you truly understand what it is. Have a good one.